how the voting process is taking place. We are joined over the phone live from Shoubra district by our own correspondent from there, Reham Mourse. Reham.
Good afternoon to you, Maisi.
How is the voting process taking place in Shoubra district?
The question, I'm sorry?
How the voting process is taking place so far, Reham?
Well, the number of people that have come here to the polling stations is weak to medium, I can say. Right now, things are much slower than they were earlier in the morning. The numbers were much higher in the morning. Now we're starting to see more elderly people coming in. But earlier, there were a lot of people coming into these polling stations, ages ranging from 18 to 25. The polling stations themselves are composed of 116 different electoral polling stations here in Shoubra and Rod al-Farag as well. The approximate number of electoral voters here is about 260,000 registered voters, with 34 candidates running for 2 seats in the parliament in the individual seats.
Yes, Reham. Reham, what about the smooth the voting process, and were there any irregularities reported so far?
I'm sorry, the question isn't very clear.
Yes. Were there any irregularities reported, Reham?
No, I was just speaking earlier with the deputy of the Cairo governorate. He was talking about how he went to different polling stations here in this area and said so far there aren't complaints or any irregularities that have been found, but they're still looking and seeing if there's any problems with the polling stations. But so far nothing. All the polling stations opened on time. No irregularities have been reported thus far. The only thing that is noticeable is that the participation is not as we usually see in other elections across the election periods that we've seen in the last year or so.
So up till now, the participation is not quite high in the polling station where you are, Reham.
Yes, the voters are not as high as they usually are, but they are expected to show up later in the day after working hours. The numbers are going to increase later on. Around 5 p.m. we're going to start to see a bigger flow of people, but I can't really predict if the numbers are the same as we saw, for instance, in the presidential elections or a constitutional election.
Yes, Reham. We hope that the voting turnout would increase throughout the day after the working hours are finished. Reham Mourse, our correspondent from Shoubra district, will be back to you for more updates in the coming hours. Reham, thank you very much for your feedback. And we get back to our guest in the studio, Mr. Ayub. Mr. Ayub, how do you see the voting process in the second phase of the parliamentary elections?
First, I voted early in the morning.
Great.
There were a good number
yes.
of